Why you should shop for labels. In the grocery store is where your secret to success begins, especially if you eat at home on a regular basis. If you do, you must read package labels. It would be wise to study the ingredients of food advertised as low and non-fat, fat-free, high protein, low cholesterol, carbohydrates, etc. Reduce sugar. Pass on any food that names sugar as one of its first 3 ingredients. Even if it's sucrose, high fructose corn syrup, brown sugar, or honey, it's all sugar. Dietary components. Labels on foods have changed so much over the years, but now the FDA and administrations like it have taken on the task of making the most sweeping changes to food labeling in generation. Susan Tom, a registered dietitian of Parma in Ohio, knows how important it is for people to know the number of calories from fat they eat each day. She states that you need to limit fat consumption to 30% or less of total daily calories. But in the past, obtaining that information from the food label has required some mathematical skill, namely multiplying the total grams of fat in a serving by 9, since 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories. She also says that it does take time, but if you want to feed yourself well, you have to look at the label. For millions of people who seek to restrict their fat intake to recommended levels, a new dietary component has been added to the food label: calories from fat. Trans fat. Whatever you do when you are out shopping and checking labels, you must reject anything with trans fats, which may be listed as partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. Remember to crunch the numbers on the labels. If you buy a product like crackers and they claim to have 0 trans fats in them, look closer at the label. You may find that it has less than a half gram per serving, which might be listed as 3 crackers. Of course, when you eat 3 servings, i.e. 9 crackers, you're getting too many trans fats in your system. In this case, the ingredient list reveals more than the nutritional label. A product can say 0 trans fats and still have a small percentage. How so? The FDA allows for up to a half gram of trans fat under the 0 label. The Institute of Medicine, however, maintains that there's no safe minimum level of trans fat. Look out for ingredients such as shortening or partially hydrogenated oil to tip you off that the food contains some trans fat. If a food has just 1 gram or more of combined saturated and trans fats per 100 calories, you must put it back and should aim to want to get your trans fat consumption down to 0. Color of food. You should always consider a food's color, especially in breads, rice, and pasta made from whole grains, which are often brown. These are definitely what you need, as they are digested more slowly than refined white ones. As you have read previously, the body processes white bread, rice, pasta as sugar almost immediately, causing insulin spikes. So, if you endeavor, over a period of time, to replace every white food you eat with something brown, then you will definitely notice a difference. Soy. We hear a lot about the benefits of soy, but as with most things, moderation in this particular case is paramount, as you can definitely eat too much soy, and the type of soy you eat matters greatly. It's desirable to eat moderate, regular portions of fermented soy foods like miso and temp, traditional foods whose health benefits have been shown in Asian population studies. But when it comes to highly refined soy products such as fractionated soy foods, tofu, soy protein isolate, or added soy isoflavones found in certain protein powders and energy bars, there's no comparable evidence for health benefits. Soy isoflavones may carry risks associated with thyroid dysfunction, so it's best to stay away from them. Organic labeling. Organic junk food is still junk food. Some foods sound healthier, but with all the sugar and oil, they are just a disguised version of the same thing, minus the pesticides. To be 100% sure, read the labels first, and of course, use common sense. Whole grain labels. When you buy products labeled whole grain, you may assume you're getting a healthy dose of fiber, which helps keep your digestive system running smoothly and reduces your risk of numerous diseases. But, like organic, terms like whole grain can be misleading on packaged foods, so always check the fiber content. The FDA states that whole grain foods should contain the 3 key ingredients of cereal grains. Bran, the fiber-filled outer part of the kernel. Endosperm, the inner part and usually all that is left in most processed grains. The germ, the heart of the grain kernel. Plus, these 3 ingredients need to be present in the same relative proportion as they exist naturally, a way to be sure that manufacturers do not add back small amounts of each ingredient to highly processed food and then call it whole grain. While these guidelines are aimed at food companies, Barbara Scheinenman, director of the FDA's Center for Food Safety and Applied Nutrition, says it's also very important for consumers to have consistent and uniform terminology for what consists of a whole grain.